Welcome to Michigan Reimagined, a Spotlight podcast. And here's your host, Chris Buck.
All right. Well, we've got a repeat guest. Last fall, I introduced our next guest, and at the time, there was major excitement, but also some more questions and answers. So in case you missed it, Lansing is getting its own professional basketball team, and they tip off their inaugural season on March 18th here in 2022. Here to discuss the launch of the Lansing Pharaohs is the founder and president, Mr. Chris Jackson. Welcome back to the show, Chris.
Thanks for having me back, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. I've been following along and listening and social media and all that stuff, so it's been fun to watch this build. But for those of us listening here in busy lifetimes, they may have missed some of the hype. So I wanted to bring you in and chat about this. So to recap a little bit, how did the prospect of having a professional basketball team in Lansing begin, and how did you get involved?
Absolutely. So, we started this journey probably about 11 months ago, right?
Wow, fast.
And now here we are, right? So you never have time to do everything that you want to do, but we're feeling really good about it. The Lansing Pharaohs. So the TBL, the basketball league, is a league that has last year at this time 30 teams around the country. Now 44 teams.
Wow, expansions
across the country.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the goal of the league is to be a showcase league for players that may not have had the opportunity right away, or didn't develop quick enough, or for staff and or coaches who want to be promoted to the G League, the NBA, higher leagues in Europe, whatever the case is.
Right on. Okay.
For us, or for me, my previous company, Sticky, the goal was to sponsor the entire league. And the league wasn't quite that progressive yet.
Okay.
But what they did say is they wanted to expand in Michigan, and here's an opportunity to buy a market, if you will.
Got it.
In Michigan. And so, I thought about the hometown. Of course, Pontiac, Michigan is where I'm from, but have some friends, some family here in Lansing. The one thing outside of our beloved Michigan State Spartans, of course, right?
Yep.
Which has been the pro team here for many, many years, an actual professional team where players are able to get paid and get promoted. I thought that Lansing was the perfect opportunity to bring that type of entertainment and basketball to what I believe is a basketball town, and has been since the days of Magic and Jay Vincent and others, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, so this all started with you trying to invest in marketing,
exactly
for the league as a whole,
Yep.
and they said, well, we're not bought into that yet, but why don't you use that money and deploy your own league because we want to expand?
Exactly right.
Okay,
Yep, you got
we're looking for a Michigan team. That's great. I don't think I ever heard that exact part of it, so that's good. So you talked about the type of league that you're in. You touched a little on the level of play. Is it fair to say that this would be kind of between Michigan State and like the Pistons from a quality of play standpoint, or how would you equate that for the layperson listening?
Of course, I would say so. The Lansing Lugnuts is a really good example.
Okay,
right? And so the Lugnuts are a single A or double A team in the grand scheme of the MLB being the majors, and then there's triple A, double A, single A.
Yep.
I would say in terms of competition, the TBL would probably be the double A to the G League's triple A.
Got it. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep. All right. So it's going to be, they'll be balling.
Oh,
right?
it'd be some competitive basketball for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's good. So who are these players and coaches? I mean, where do you find, you mentioned, again, you've already talked about this a little bit, but was it a draft? Was it recruiting? Was it just fill out a form and come to tryouts? Like I think about the Invincible story, the Vince Papale story they did on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Absolutely.
When they had open tryouts and just a bunch of knuckleheads showed up, and then they picked
right.
But obviously these guys are players, so I don't mean to call them knuckleheads.
No,
but
no worries.
How did you find all the players?
Yeah, so it started this summer where we had 6 different tryouts across the state of Michigan. Michigan has really good basketball, and so across the state of Michigan, 6 different tryouts. There was also a combine tryout that was in Indianapolis at league owner meetings per the league.
Yep.
So we had 2 draft picks, and then we had to bring all of those folks into training camp. That training camp lasted for about a week, and now we're down to our final roster, which we'll be announcing really soon. But some names that you would probably be familiar with. Jamyron Jackson, who played at Lansing Everett, short stint at LCC as well. He played with the Flint United team last year. So he's back home. He'll be playing with us. Maurice Benson, who played with another league, PBA last year, but also from Lansing Everett, is one of those names. Muhammad El Amin is another name, state champion here in Lansing, he'll also be playing with us. And so I would say 5 or 6, probably 5 of our players are from the Lansing region, and then others from across the state and a few folks from out of state too.
So you do have some out of state folks.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have probably 3 or 4 folks from out of state.
Okay. And the coaches, where do you find a coach for this kind of level?
Absolutely. So Daryl Scott, Ron Banks, those are guys who are local in their own right, whether it was by coaching or being a player like Ron Banks. So both of those guys are on the coaching staff. But the other gentleman I'll mention is Scott Newman, who's our head coach. Scott won a couple of championships previously for the NBL Canada League. Okay. Which is a bit of a more competitive league. It's interesting. We're doing a crossover with that league this year to see how we match up in terms of competition. But Scott won 2 championships as an assistant coach with the Windsor Express. Knows how to win. And the interesting thing about this league, and I may have mentioned this to you before, is that most games are decided within 5 points or so.
Okay.
5 to 7 points.
Yeah.
So it's really important to have a good coach who knows how to win down the stretch, right? And so Scott is our guy, and he's already shown what he brings to the team. So really excited about having him too.
So we talked professional. You mentioned getting paid. So is there a cap? I mean, there's got to be a budget, right? And you got to come up with capital. Right? Yeah, you got to come up with the money to pay these guys. And then you have ticket sales and sponsorship opportunities and all that stuff. So the economics behind all of this is got to be pretty complex and a little nerve-wracking, especially in the first year when you're kind of figuring this thing out. True.
And you know, one of the things that we also have to consider is that this isn't just a basketball team. It's entertainment. It's the business of entertainment, right? A pro experience means somebody can come and see dancers and timeout shows and halftime shows and be entertained throughout the entire process, right? So there's also budget for that. As far as the players are concerned, though, there's a league minimum. There isn't a cap necessarily. Okay. And so the league minimum is $500 a month for players. Our players on average probably be making closer to $1,000 or $1,200 a month probably. But there isn't a cap. So what tends to happen is no different than the NBA or something like that, where you have kind of the best player kind of sets the market in the region. Yep. And, you know, owners are friends. And so we all have conversations just about, you know, who MVPs were last year, who the best players were last year and kind of where they fall. And then we just kind of build from there. But this league is very much community oriented. And so I could pay a player $5,000, $6,000 a month. It wouldn't matter if the community didn't buy into it, right? And so there's something economical to saying the more important thing is do the best that you can. We'll put you on a platform, but we need to have money for community engagement more so than how much we pay the players.
Okay. Got it. All right. So where is the team going to be playing and kind of what kind of capacity, what kind of setup you got?
Absolutely. I don't know if we had established it last time we spoke. The Don Johnson Fieldhouse. Okay. Historic.
Yeah.
Don Johnson
absolutely.
Fieldhouse is where we'll be on Pennsylvania and Ave there. And you know, it seats 3,200. Okay. By itself, just on the bleachers. We'll have courtside seating. We'll have VIP suites on the baselines. We'll have a skybox.
Skybox.
A skybox.
Is there already one there?
There is one there.
Okay.
You just never noticed it, but we'll make it. It's going to be a skybox.
Well, you know, honestly, I've never been in the facility. Okay. So okay. I did Google images, you know, trying to find and pan around and try to figure out exactly what this place was going to look like. So I had trouble figuring out how that was all going to look.
So we're going to be calling it the Pyramid. Okay. On game day. So that's its official name on game day. Absolutely.
You know what? I'm not even sure if I have this in my series of questions, but talk about the Lansing Pharaohs name. Talk about, you know, what that means to you and then all the other sub names like the Pyramid and all that stuff that go along with it.
Yeah. For us, I mean, we've gotten to the point now where our mascot is going to be Cairo the cat, right? So we're going we're going all in with this theme. But for me, really enamored with how do you say it? Royalty regarding mascots. And you know, you have the Royals and you have the Kings, a lot of Western Hemisphere representation, not much Eastern Hemisphere representation. And it's really unique, right, to professional teams in that way. And so the first thing is that it was unique, right? I think there's history that can be learned from that perspective as well, just regarding ancient Egypt and the pharaohs. And the other thing, and I think this is the icing on the cake for me, is that the first use of the word Lansing that I could find was used by a 5th dynasty pharaoh in the Papyrus Lansing. is what the script was called. And so once I came to that conclusion and I couldn't find the use of the word Lansing prior to that, I said, this is meant to be. So the Lansing Pharaohs, and with that, the pyramid on game day, a.k.a. the Don Johnson Fieldhouse, Cairo the Cat, like I just mentioned. Our dance team is called the Dynasty Dancers, and so we're really all in on the theme. So it's been fun.
And it celebrates people of color, right?
Absolutely.
Which tends to be basketball. I mean, it all kind of flows
for
together.
sure. Culturally, especially. Yep, you got it.
Good for you. All right. So how long is the season? How many games do you guys expect to play?
Yeah, so we'll play 28 games this season, 14 at home, about half of them at home. Generally Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Tip-off 7:05 p.m., on Fridays and Saturdays, 3:05 p.m. on Sundays.
Got it. Okay. And so, and it's probably no coincidence that this starts up, right? It was March Madness.
Exactly.
Kind of starts coming down, right? So your season, inaugural season, it begins on March 18th, right?
Exactly right. Our first home game is on March 18th. Our first interconference game or TBL game is going to be March 11th, but those two games are on the road.
Okay.
Yep, you got it. March 18th, though, is our first home game. Really affordable pricing. I don't know if you're going to get to this at some point or not, but I'll plug it now.
No, jump in. Absolutely.
For us, love our Pistons.
Yep.
I enjoy going to the games, but I have a luxury being from Pontiac in that it's right up the street, right? It's not always the case for folks from Grand Rapids, from Lansing region, right?
Yep.
There's a lot of money affiliated with, especially if you have children, right? Couple of $100s for tickets, the travel time, finding parking, maybe even needing to get a hotel, the amount of money for concessions. And so we want affordable basketball here in the Lansing region. And so for us, ticket prices, as low as $5 for kids, as high as $20 for adults. And so the same amount that you would spend to go watch a movie on a Friday night, is what you can get with coming to one of our games. And that was really important that we make it affordable for the Lansing region.
Good for you. Good for you. All right. So it takes a lot of collaboration to get this pulled off.
Absolutely.
Right. So
more than I can name.
Yeah, you need partners, you need sponsors, you need and partners even maybe more than sponsors, right? I mean, I've seen the slow roll of, hey, we're proud to announce an affiliation with XYZ company.
Absolutely.
And they all have a role to play, right? It's not just writing a check and putting a sign on the wall, although, I'm sure you would take that money too.
Absolutely. Yeah, but there's more to it.
But a lot of the people that you have are, and so why don't you tell me about the affiliations that you're aware of, that you've created, and what role are these people going to be playing?
Absolutely. So, at the risk of forgetting some, Sticky, my company is our jersey sponsor. And so you'll see the name Sticky on our jerseys all season long. Moneyball is a merchandising partner with us. There is an official league, very similar to the NBA, where you have like an NBA store. And then Nike is also an affiliate partner. The same kind of situation. There's a TBL store, but Moneyball is our official merchandising partner, right? ORS, orthopedic rehab specialists, are our athletic trainers. So shout out to Mel, who has made her mark already. She's had a long career at Michigan prior to being with ORS with us. Dr. Shingles from now Sparrow, previously Michigan State. So they're the most important people probably to this.
Keep you healthy,
thing.
Right?
F45 Fitness Training is our official facility partner there. Amadori is our official water of the Lansing Pharaohs.
I'm not familiar with
Amadori,
that brand.
it's a startup water company, spring water company, but they're starting to make quite a bit of splash.
So speak. See what you did there.
Here, there. And then BRD Printing for all of our printing needs. And then some others, Delta Dental, Menchie's Uniform Center, Lansing, Chick-fil-A. A lot of community support behind what we have going on here for our inaugural season.
Well, that's great. I mean, and that's heavy lifting, right? I mean, and those are all brands that I recognize as a local, but folks listening around the state or around the country may not be familiar with a lot of those, but that's what makes the engine hum, right?
Absolutely.
Everyone needs to be a part of this and everyone needs to win. And, so that's great. I'm glad to hear that.
And I'm sorry, they'll be on showcase too, at specific games more so than others, because we'll have a theme night for every game this season. Every home game. So we'll start with fight night. So we're getting a belt made for all of the Michigan teams, and so we'll start. Our first home game is against the Flint United. And so we'll have a belt that will travel with the team that wins. And so the first night is going to be fight night for us, but we'll have a superhero night, not only to celebrate kids being able to be superheroes, but also celebrating the actual superheroes, the folks that were on the front line during the pandemic.
Right.
In partnership with the Uniform Center of Lansing, Delta Dental is going to be hosting our whiteout later on in the season, and so we got a lot of cool things lined up.
That's what makes it tech, right? That's nice that you've thought all of that through. So talk about ticket purchases, right? I mean, so how do people get online and figure out how to go? Where's the schedule? How much, and how do they buy tickets?
Absolutely. So if you go to lansingpharaohs.com, that's www.lansingpharaohs.com, there is a tab for tickets.
Okay.
Underneath that, it'll take you to the link where you can purchase tickets from any game this season. Season tickets are also available if you're interested. That way you can have access to the 14 games. I think what's cool about this league is that there are only so many opportunities you're going to get to see the team, right? And so, 82 games, it's a lot. Right, talking about the NBA and how often you get fans out. But you're only going to have a finite amount of time to see these guys play, particularly the ones from the Lansing region and then the others too. And we'll have a really good team this year. And so you can get season tickets if you're interested, whether it's general admission or courtside or suites, or you can just purchase tickets per game, which are on sale today if you want to go to the website.
Got it.
Yep.
And I'm sure it's a fluid situation, but COVID protocols, I mean, are you allowed? I mean, it seems like schools and a lot of places are unmasking. I mean, you're at the Don Johnson Fieldhouse.
You got it.
What are the protocols as you see them as of today anyway? Understanding that they can change.
Absolutely. So for us, it's just mask will be required per the Lansing School District.
Okay.
Which I need to talk about the Lansing School District as well as a partner, but masks are necessary, required, but other than that, that's as far as it goes.
But you can fill it up
right now. Exactly
right.
Right.
Load limit. Okay, got it.
So no limit. Speaking of the Lansing School District, right quick, if that's okay. Honored that they allowed us to use the gym of Lansing, GEM of Lansing, right, which is the Don Johnson Fieldhouse. We have a really cool partnership with them in that we will be giving away 50 to 100 tickets every game for school district students.
Okay.
And so we'll have some players potentially going to the school, of course, by way of COVID protocols.
Of course.
Some players, corporate partners will go into schools and we'll hand those tickets out. But the goal, again, is to engage the community and give kids something else to do, right? And this being a basketball town, whether it's the Lansing School District, other school districts, Boys and Girls Club, the Boys and Girls Club, but also Big Brothers Big Sisters, looking for youth organizations that we can host at games to make sure that kids have access to what we're doing here.
Fun, safe environment.
Absolutely.
Ways to get entertained for not too expensive.
You got it.
That's great. Good for you. Anything else I missed? Anything else you want to talk about?
Other than that, no, just really excited about the season that's upcoming. Like I said, I think we have a really good brand of basketball, a really good brand of entertainment, and it's something for the family to do, and I'm just excited to share it with the city of Lansing. Thanks for supporting us.
No, we're very, very excited to have you coming. We've been talking with the founder and president of the Lansing Pharaohs, Mr. Chris Jackson. Go to lansingpharaohs.com to learn more and buy your tickets. I will be there on the 18th. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye-bye.